Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. You know how much we love digging into those everyday things that, they turn out to be not so everyday after all.
Right.
And today, we're diving deep into the world of bamboo cutting boards.
Bamboo cutting board.
Yeah. Have you noticed more and more people are making the switch?
I have, definitely.
Uh,
Yeah, they're everywhere these days.
so we really wanted to take a closer look at, what's behind this trend. Are they really all that, or is it just another fad?
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, exactly. And for that, we have our expert with us today who's going to help us dissect all the ins and outs of bamboo cutting boards.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so from what we've gathered so far, bamboo cutting boards are touted as this eco-friendly, durable, even naturally antimicrobial alternative to your typical wood or plastic cutting boards. They're also supposed to be really good for your knives. And let's be honest, they just look really nice too.
Yeah, aesthetically, they do have that natural kind of modern farmhouse vibe going for them.
Exactly. But you know how it is with these things? Is it all just hype? Or is there actual substance to these claims?
Yeah, well, the cool thing is these benefits, they're not just marketing jargon. There's actually some really interesting science behind it all.
Okay, so walk me through this then.
Okay, so let's start with the eco-friendliness factor.
Mm-hmm.
Bamboo is known for its incredibly fast growth rate. I mean, some species can grow like crazy. We're talking over 3 feet in a single day.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's wild. So that makes it a super renewable resource, especially when you compare it to traditional hardwoods that can take, decades to mature.
That's a huge difference.
It is huge.
Oh.
So from a sustainability standpoint, bamboo's already winning.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I'm all for being environmentally conscious, but when it comes to something like a cutting board,
Right.
it's got to be durable too.
Absolutely. And that's where bamboo's unique structure comes in.
Okay.
Its fibers are naturally incredibly strong, even harder than some types of wood. So this inherent strength makes them really resistant to cuts and scratches.
So that means your board is less likely to warp or crack over time.
That's exactly. You got it. It can really take a beating.
So we've got sustainable, we've got durable.
Check and check.
What about this whole antimicrobial thing?
Right, so that's another area where bamboo really shines. It naturally contains this antimicrobial agent called bamboocin.
Bamboocin.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, right? Basically, it helps inhibit the growth of bacteria. So this makes bamboo boards naturally more hygienic, which is obviously a huge plus when you're dealing with raw meat and veggies.
Okay, that's pretty amazing. I had no idea there was actual science behind that.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot going on beneath the surface with bamboo.
So it seems like these bamboo boards really do have a lot going for them. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of choosing one.
Okay, let's do it.
Because, I mean, I've seen so many different types out there, shapes, sizes, you name it.
It can be overwhelming for sure.
Our research talks about size and thickness being major factors. They mention large boards being great for big tasks, prepping large meals, medium for your everyday chopping needs, and then small ones for things like garnishes and smaller ingredients. So is bigger always better when it comes to cutting boards?
That's a great question. And it really depends on your cooking style, your kitchen space even. You mentioned you like to prep large meals often.
I do, yeah.
So in that case, a larger board, something maybe around 18 by 12 inches would probably be ideal. That way you've got ample space to comfortably fit, say, a whole chicken,
right,
all your veggies, without things feeling too cramped. You don't want ingredients dangling off the edge.
That's a recipe for disaster.
For sure. And then, you don't want to be constantly washing your board if you're prepping a big meal. You want enough space to work.
Right. That makes complete sense. No one wants a rogue carrot rolling off their counter.
Exactly.
Now, the source also stresses the importance of thickness. Why is that such a big deal?
Thickness equals stability. And stability is crucial when you're working with a sharp knife. You want a board that's not going to wobble or flex under pressure.
Yeah, you don't want it to be like a seesaw.
Definitely not. A thicker board, at least 3/4 of an inch, gives you that solid, sturdy surface you need to chop with confidence. And it's not just about convenience either.
Right.
It's a safety thing, too. You want your board to stay put while you're chopping those onions. Exactly. A wobbly board is a recipe for disaster. No one wants to lose a finger while chopping veggies.
Exactly. So thickness is key.
Got it. Yeah. What else should we be looking at when we're shopping for a bamboo cutting board?
Okay, so beyond the size and the thickness, you also want to pay attention to the finish of the board.
Okay.
You want a nice, smooth, well-sanded surface.
And why is that so important?
Well, for a couple of reasons. First off, it makes cleaning so much easier,
Right.
which is obviously crucial for preventing any kind of bacterial buildup.
Yeah, nobody wants a dirty cutting board.
Exactly. And secondly, a smoother surface is actually going to be gentler on your knives, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it helps them stay sharper for longer. So
Yeah.
you're not just investing in a board, you're investing in the longevity of your knives, too.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I never really thought about it that way.
It's the little things, right?
Yeah, for sure. Now, speaking of little things,
Yeah.
the source also mentions some extra features to look out for,
Okay.
like juice grooves, non-slip feet,
Right.
even handles.
Handles are a game changer, let me tell you.
Yeah, I can see how those would be handy.
They really are, especially if you're working with a larger, heavier board.
Right, you don't want to be lugging that around without handles.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about making your life easier in the kitchen.
So these might seem like just bells and whistles, but they actually make a difference.
They do. They
Yeah.
really do. Think about it. Those juice grooves, they're not just for aesthetics, keeping your countertop clean.
Right.
They actually play a role in food safety.
Okay, how so?
Well, when you're prepping raw meat, for example, those juices need to be contained, right? To prevent any cross-contamination.
That's a good point.
And then the non-slip feed, again, it seems so minor,
Right.
but it's all about stability,
Mhm.
especially when you're working with a large, heavy board.
You don't want that thing slipping and sliding all over the place.
Exactly. You could have a serious accident.
Okay, so those little features actually pack a punch.
They do.
Yeah.
They really do. It's all about the details.
Okay, so we've talked about all the amazing things about bamboo cutting boards, but let's address the elephant in the room,
What's that?
the maintenance.
Ah, yes, the maintenance.
I've heard they can be a bit high maintenance.
All right.
Is there any truth to that?
There's some truth to it, yes, but it's not as demanding as some people might think.
Okay, good.
The key to a long-lasting bamboo cutting board really comes down to proper care.
Okay, so what does proper care entail?
Simple things, really, like hand-washing your board with warm, soapy water after each use
Okay.
and drying it immediately.
So no tossing it in the dishwasher?
No. The dishwasher is a big no-no for bamboo cutting boards.
Okay.
The prolonged exposure to heat and moisture can really damage them, cause warping, cracking. You don't want
So
that.
hand wash only.
Got it.
Hmm.
What about oiling the board? Is that really necessary? Oiling is key. It's like giving your board a little drink of water.
Okay.
Bamboo.
Hmm.
It's a natural material, so it needs to be moisturized
Mhm.
to prevent it from drying out and cracking.
Makes sense.
A regular application of food-grade mineral oil will keep your board looking its best for years to come.
Okay, so we're talking like a little spa treatment for your cutting board.
Exactly. A little spa day.
Okay, I can handle that. It sounds
Mhm.
like a small price to pay for a board that's going to last me for years. How long are we talking realistically?
Well, with proper care, a high-quality bamboo cutting board can easily last you 5 to 7 years,
Wow.
even longer. And this ties back into the sustainability factor, right?
Right.
By investing in a durable board, you're actually reducing waste in the long run. You're not replacing it every couple of years.
That's a great point. It's not just about the material itself, but how long it lasts. That really contributes to its overall sustainability.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach.
So we've talked a lot about bamboo, but I'm curious how it stacks up against other common cutting board materials, like your typical wood, plastic, even glass.
Well,
What does the research say about that?
so the research actually does a really good job of breaking down the pros and cons of each material.
Okay.
Bamboo really shines when it comes to durability, eco-friendliness, and being easy on your knives.
Yeah.
But as we discussed, it does require a bit more TLC than, say, a plastic board.
Right, so there's always a trade-off.
There always is. Wood, depending on the type, can be similar to bamboo in terms of durability and eco-friendliness,
Right.
but it can be more expensive. And it often requires specific care routines as well.
Okay.
Plastic is very cheap and low maintenance,
Mhm.
but it's not the most eco-friendly option, and it's not going to last as long as bamboo.
Right.
And then you've got glass, which looks very sleek and modern,
Mm.
but it can dull your knives really quickly. And it's not as forgiving if you drop something heavy on it.
Yeah, you don't want to be shattering your cutting board.
Definitely not. That's a recipe for a mess.
So it sounds like the best choice really depends on your individual needs and priorities. Exactly.
There's no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to cutting boards. You got to figure out what matters most to you. Your values, your cooking style, your budget, all of that factors in.
This has been so insightful. I mean, we've really gone in depth on bamboo cutting boards, But I love that our source doesn't stop there.
Right.
They also touch on bamboo's impact on a larger scale,
Yes.
like its sustainability from a sourcing perspective.
Right.
They even mention bamboo being used in professional kitchens.
Mm-hmm.
So is this just a passing trend, or is bamboo really the future of cutting boards?
It's a good question. And honestly, I think the research hints that it might be more than just a trend. They talk about how this surge in popularity for bamboo has put a spotlight on sustainable forestry practices.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not enough to just say, okay, it's fast growing, we're good. It's
Yeah.
got to be harvested responsibly, too.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It's about the whole life cycle, from the forest to the factory to your kitchen. So responsible harvesting sourcing, that's crucial to ensure that it really is as eco-friendly as we're saying it is.
So as a consumer, then, how do I know that the bamboo products I'm buying are actually coming from sustainable sources?
That's where certifications come in.
Yeah.
Look for the FSC certification. That stands for Forest Stewardship Council. It's like a stamp of approval. It basically means that the bamboo was harvested in a way that protects the environment and supports local communities.
Okay, so it's like a guarantee that I'm making a responsible choice.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It takes the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
Because, they have really strict standards.
So it's not just some marketing ploy.
No. This is legit. It's the real deal.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the environment either.
Oh.
The FSC certification also focuses on social responsibility. So things like fair wages for workers, safe working conditions, all of that.
Wow, that's really good to know. It's more reassuring, I guess, knowing that the bamboo I'm using isn't coming at the expense of someone else's well-being.
Exactly. It's about making conscious choices across the board.
Right. Absolutely. So we've got the sustainability side covered. What about professional kitchens? You mentioned that earlier. Why are they hopping on the bamboo bandwagon?
Well, think about it. Professional kitchens are tough on their equipment. They need stuff that can handle constant use.
Oh, yeah. They're not chopping like one onion a day.
Exactly. They're going through veggies like crazy.
Yeah.
And so they need something that's durable, hygienic, and can stand up to those super sharp chef's knives.
And bamboo fits the bill.
Bamboo fits the bill perfectly. The research even mentions chefs saying that bamboo boards are actually gentler on their knives compared to some other materials.
Interesting. So I guess if it's good enough for a professional kitchen, it's probably good enough for my little kitchen at home.
Right. It's like a vote of confidence from the pros.
Exactly. Well, I feel like we've really gone deep on this topic, learned a lot about bamboo cutting boards, their benefits, the sustainability, the maintenance, even their rise in popularity in professional settings.
Yeah, it's been quite the deep dive, right?
It really has. So any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap things up?
I think the takeaway here is that bamboo cutting boards are a fantastic option for anyone who wants to be a bit more eco-conscious in their kitchen. They're durable, they're stylish, and with a little bit of care, they'll last you for years and years.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe in the future, we'll all be prepping our meals on bamboo boards with built-in knife sharpeners and hidden compartments.
Right. The future of kitchen gadgets is looking pretty cool.
It really is. Okay, well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of bamboo cutting boards. If you want to learn more about what we talked about today and maybe even check out some of those high-tech cutting boards of the future, be sure to check out our show notes for all the links and resources.
And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out on our next deep dive.
We'll see you next time.
At Nourishing Tapestry Store, we have a large range of bamboo cutting boards. Thanks for watching. Check us out at Nourishing Tapestry Store. Like, subscribe.